Yeah. So very good evening to all. Hope I'm audible. If yes, can you give a quick GMT chat?
Yes,
Just
you're
putting it
audible.
in chat. Okay, fine. Superb. So let's exactly speak of 4 to 6 to 7, nearly okay, 5 to 6. It never happened in the Inspire, but first time because we are doing some different programs, we are not able to organize everything in the same mode. So because previously I used to handle only one session, so it is over. But now it's like three as I'm running along with those who are in the pre-final year and the final year, they'll go under the project. So I'll teach them what is Python, and from the scratch level I'll start. So basically, what is Python? Python means Python will go. So as of now, we have choose internship based on Java. So we'll train them on the Java, then we'll give them the project. They should come to get an internship certificate. So these kind of different programs we are doing. Is what the time has been shifted. Fine. So hope people have joined. So thanks for that. Fine. Uh, in the last class, we were discussing about the pandas. Completely is based on the pandas we have completed. To complete, what are the topics we have mentioned in this course? Yes, we have completed. And what is series we have discussed? Data frame. So from the starting itself, we have started and finally we have reached here. So now just okay. So here we have started what is pandas and we have completed what is pandas. Next is nothing but numpy. So based on the numpy, we'll discuss one by one. So from there we have started and we have discussed one by one how to load the CSV file. And if you want to go with the column wise, how to perform with the column wise, even if you want to go with the row wise. So dealing with the row and the column we have discussed. Indexing and selecting also we have discussed. There is nothing but choosing which index you want based on the iLock, based on the lock. So LOC and based on ILOC we have discussed. So iLock is nothing but index lock. Lock is nothing but generally location. You have to give your values. Yeah. Your screen is visible for everyone. Screen is visible. Okay, fine. And please one more request. I'm handling from room. Okay, it's like a Wi-Fi only I have connected. So Wi-Fi I'm handling. If any issue if you get like facing like audibility is not clear or screen is not visible, try to put a text in the chat. So I have connected with my mobile as well as the laptop also. So if you have any concern like this kind of the technical issue, let me know. So that immediately I can sort it. So fine. So we have discussed about the creating the data frame using the list and how to load the CSV file. We have discussed and dealing with the row and the column one by one. We have discussed. I think so. Hope you people have started to learn this one by one. When you start to do the implementation, slowly you'll increase your idea. Day by day, learning is needed as well as daily we have to continuity that should be there. So today if I'm learning something, so based on that again I have to continue tomorrow, so that column and columns index, and based on the, if you want to what log, we have discussed about the log and average, and describe, most important thing, what is describe, I'll ask in the test. So for the final test I'll ask what dot marks greater than 90 I have to write, or greater than or equal to 90 I should write. So kind of fill in the blank questions to be and thing we have discussed. And the last is nothing but how to deal with the NaN or not. We can go with else null and can go with a not null to check it. And same thing if you want to go with the previous value fill, or if you want to go with the fine guys. Sorry, hope it is audible now. And thanks for informing immediately. So that will be easy to sort. So now I kept my backup. Let's see. Fine. So if you want to fill with a previous value, either we can go with a replace method. Okay, so you can go with the replace method. If not, other than the replace, we can go with a method. We can write as your variable, whatever you keep. So MD I am keeping. So MD dot fill NA. What I have to fill wherever you have the empty column, I have to fill with that values. Sorry, rows. I can fill my F values. F value is nothing but my forward value we used to tell. Or if you want to go with the previous value, like a previous value means I can go with the FL. If you want to go with the bottom value, yes, I can go with a one more command called as a B fill. We have discussed about fill NA, and same thing interpolate. So this is nothing but it takes previous value and the next value, and in middle it will try to find the solution and give you. So suppose here we have a 240 and last we have a 260. In between you can have that values 250.0. Actually this is going to be the empty box, okay, which I showed you already in the yesterday session. So this is going to be the empty. Here I am trying to fill that value. Same thing here, one by one it will take the previous value and the next value will try to give the solution. So that is what interfloat mean. So I'll ask about what is interfloat also. Okay. So and next is nothing but drop NA. So drop NA is nothing but from in your Excel sheet or in your CSV file, what might be there if you want to find the NA, I can go with a is null or not, or not null or not. I can figure out how many NaN file is there, how many values are there, we can find it. Now, if you want to drop the column, we can go with a drop function. We have used like a drop. What is your column I have to drop? If you want to drop the row, what are the drop, like which row you have to drop or which column you have to drop? Everything we have discussed one by one. Same thing if you want to drop the NaN file. Okay, then I can go with a drop NA. So drop, what is my variable name you can keep? So MD2 I have kept. So MD2 dot, I have to go with a drop NA. So drop NA is nothing but wherever in my sheet, if you have anything with a NaN file, that is empty box, that will be removed. So after removing, remaining stuff will be stored, like which has all the values. So that value will be stored. Up to here, we have discussed in the yesterday session. Yeah. And today is nothing but, suppose if you have just like a 2 minutes of intro, I'll give you. So we'll start with the NumPy also. So before starting, just think about, we are discussing only about the CSV file. What if you have other files? How to load it? If you want to go with the CSV file, I can go with a read underscore CSV. Fine. What about the other file? How can I do that? Suppose you have a Excel sheet. If you have Excel sheet means, okay. So now I'll tell you about the Excel sheet. So I'll put a content as Excel. So only one file I'll teach you. So already it is like only CSV file, but and yesterday I got one request like, so can you tell about the Excel sheet also? So I'll no issue. I'll tell you about the Excel sheet, because people, if you want to travel with the Excel also, they can travel with the Excel. Okay, so MD2 is not defined because you have to start from here. Okay, so leave that part. I think it will work. And now it is working. Yeah, and see here we got the output. So nothing but just we have to restart, because yesterday I opened this file, just now today I'm opening. Just I have to tell to my interpreter that I'm started to use this variable. Now, suppose if you take, I'll take that local this D. Here we have Excel sheet which is called as weather underscore report. Where do I have that file? Okay, so you can see here weather underscore data. It is going to be Excel sheet. Hope you can see that name in the type itself. It's mentioned like a Microsoft Excel worksheet. So just I'll open and show you how to load it. I'll tell you. And here, suppose if you have like one more question, someone asked like, sir, what if you have a two sheet, how to load it? Like a sheet one is there and sheet two is there. So normally in your Excel sheet, you'll be having sheet one, sheet two. So just I have renamed as a report one and the report two. So for the report, temperature report, I have mentioned like in the month of, okay, just a prediction I have given. So in the month of 12, 21, 12, 22, 12, 23, 12, 24, and 12, 25, 2022 year. So wind, like a temperature is going to be this much. So I have predicted something like this. Same thing in the report too. I am telling like in the 5th month, in the May month. So my temperature was this, and my wind speed is going to be this much, and event is going to be this much. So I have mentioned something like this. Okay, now how to load this? So first of all, I'll tell you how to load the Excel sheet in the Jupyter notebook. After loading, how to load only this report one and report two. So if you have like sheet like this, so you have one more sheet, sheet two, sheet three, sheet four. It's going to keep on, you're moving it. So you have to load that one by one. So with help of CSV can I do? With help of CSV we cannot do much stuff, but with help of Excel we can do it. So I'll tell you about that also. So Excel is nothing but, when you're going with the CSV file, we are writing as a import just resume and as PD. Yeah. So now I'll go with the data frame DF is equal to PD dot read underscore, and I'm giving as an underscore, we are typing as a CSV file. So now, other than the CSV file, we have Excel also. Just choose that over simple. In place of CSV file, you're choosing that Excel. Now, for the CSV file, we are typing like this, right? So I'll write that statement also. So for the CSV file, we are writing that file name called as pandas, okay, ds. You can see a .csv file is there because it is a CSV file. So we are telling as a .csv. Now, what about the Excel sheet? Can I write as Excel? My file name called Excel? No. So I'll tell you that command also. So when you're going with a Excel, just remember one thing. What are the file name you're giving? Give that properly. Suppose I have with a weather. So weather dot, you should not give as a Excel. It should be XLSX. Remember, this can be my format. Should be there. Extension should be like XLSX. This should be there. So now I'm storing that in the DF. I'll try to load it. You can see here, I got my data. So by default, it will get the first sheet. So in your Excel sheet, you have many sheets. Okay. So when you're loading only this weather underscore data dot XLSX, so I'll be getting only first sheet data. Yeah. Now I need to get the second sheet. So if you take a first sheet, what we are given, so 1221, 1222, etc. is there. This is what the data we have. Yes, I can get that. Suppose here I have a name like I'm giving a name. It's like a unwanted column, but I'll give you the name: A person, B person, C person, D person, and E person. Something I'm keeping, and I'm trying to save my file. I have saved it. Again, I'll try to load. You can see here it has been created with a B, C, D, E. So now it is loading the first sheet alone. Okay. So this is what you have to write for the Excel. I'll post in the chat. So for the CSV, we have to give a extension called as a .csv. For the Excel sheet, you have to give as a .xlsx. Remember, keep on I'm telling this for more than 3 times because in the final exam you'll get these kind of questions. Very, very minute questions you'll be getting. If you're listening the class only, you can write it. If you're preparing by your own, cannot. Everything is based on the class. So what I'm delivering here, that is going to be a question paper. Remember individual video concepts. Now, so what is next? So now if you want to load the sheet, like a first sheet, so what is my sheet now name I have to give? So same thing, I'll copy here, I'll paste it. So as of now the CSV is not ready. I'll take it out. Now after loading this, I don't want the sheet one. Specifically you're telling that I need a report one. So suppose here we have a report one, report two, sheet one, and the sheet two. So in the sheet one and the sheet two, do you have any values? No, right? So there is no use. So I'll call with a sheet report two. So in the report two, I'll create a one more column as a today. So today is going to be Sunday. So I'll give as a Sunday. So remaining is going to be empty. So if it is a empty, for sure what you'll be getting? If it is empty when I'm loading in the pandas, what I'll be getting? Very good. Yes, it is going to be a nan. So just we'll check it whether it's going to be a nan or not. So now for this, we have to give what is your sheet name. So my sheet name is going to be report 2. So you can see here it has been created. So today column and with a Sunday and remaining is going to be nan. Is it created? Yes. Suppose if you want to call with a report 1, you can give report 1 also. You can get the report. But for the load the first sheet, don't want to give the name. That is what happening in the CSV also. So for the CSV file, we are suppose you have a CSV file with a sheet name like this. Already I given a sheet name. I don't know whether you have seen or not. Pandas DS. You can see here in the pandas DS we have pandas DS only. So my sheet name is going to be not by default. It is not taking as a sheet 1 or sheet 2. It is going to be a pandas DS. I have renamed my sheet. But whenever we are calling, we are not giving this because by default it take the first sheet from the CSV. So if you want to take the second sheet or a third sheet, so we have to give like this report 1 or a report 2. We have to give like this. so that it will call the report 2. Now if you take the sheet 3 nothing is there, I'll give as a sheet 3. So do we have anything like a sheet 3? You can see here value error, and no sheet named sheet 3. Why? Sheet 3 is there, right? So any spelling mistake? Sheet 1. Okay, it is sheet 1. That's my mistake. But you will be getting empty, not error. Actually, you should go with the sheet 1. You can see here nothing. In my sheet, do you have any rows in the column? No, empty. So nothing will be the output. Same thing for the sheet 2 you're telling. So we have a sheet 2, so it is going to be empty. Suppose you have by mistake you're giving as a C or like a yes, you're giving in the lowercase. You can see here value error. So it will search for that uppercase. Do we have that uppercase? No, it is search for the lowercase. So that is why it is going to be a sheet named no found. So what you are trying to search, it is not found in my particular path. So even that uppercase, lowercase is most important. Okay, even I'm searching for the sheet 4. We don't have sheet 4. Yeah. So this is what I have to tell. And same thing, if you want to write to the CSV file also, you can write it. So I won't discuss much about the writing work. So just for the one operation, I'll tell you how to write. For writing, you have to go with a only one operation, I'll tell you. So because we don't have much time to discuss. The pandas alone, it takes nearly 10 to 12 days to complete. If you are focusing on 1 hour 30 minutes per day, we need exactly 10 to 12 days to complete only pandas. Okay, that much of things are there. Okay. Yeah, how to write into the CSV file. So now CSV file, if it is there, so how to write that? So first we have to load import pandas as PD. I'll keep a write like a variable call as a write. So write PD dot read. First of all, you have to read the CSV file. I'll read it. So my CSV file is going to be pandas ds.csv. Yep, we have read it, and I'm trying to write. So I have written here. Okay, so which we know already. Now, if you want to write, so now you have like if you want to add the column, how we are adding the column? Yesterday we have discussed. Okay, insert. So if you want to add at the beginning I can give, because index position yesterday in between marks and the in between the team and the marks, we are able to add one more column called as the employee code. Hope you can remember it. Employee code or lucky number, something we are doing that. So is possible? Yes, that is what they adding. Now how to write into the CSV, because everything changes. I think so that is near only. Where is that? Did we discuss lucky number? Yes, you can see that lucky number here. So column employee code we have added, and next is nothing but lucky number. Where is that lucky number? Okay, I think so. Some way we left that, but I thought you hope you can people are remembering it. So in between I can go with the insert. I can do it. Okay. So now okay, so now next is nothing but like if you're given employee code, we are able to add the column, but will it reflect to my CSV file actual document? This is like original document, will it reflect? No, it is happening only here in this Jupyter notebook that action is performing. What about I have to save in the my original document? So if that is the case, that is what the next one, write into the file. So how to write into the file? We'll go with a write. My variable name is going to be write dot to CSV. That's the port you have to give. So write dot underscore CSV. So into the CSV file you have to write. Suppose if you want to write to the Excel sheet, you can give as a to Excel. If you want to write into the HTML to HTML, many things are there. So here you're choosing read. Here you're choosing to. To is nothing but writing something. So what I have to write? I have to write in my CSV file. So I'll take that CSV file. Now, what is my file name? I have to give that. So what is my file name? Suppose this file name is going to be pandas ds, right? So I'll take one more file name. will give as, you have to give a new file name. So what is that? Because you're writing something, so that modification you're writing in the your original folder, so that you have to give a name for that. So name, I'll keep as double quotation name, or a new underscore name. Okay, or new underscore, I'll keep as a rename, something, anything you can keep. So for reference, I mean, because for the other badge also I thought this about the starting with a new name, new folder, like that I thought them. So skip it. So new underscore rename I'm keeping as my file name, and that extension is going to be CSV. Okay, done. So now I'll give as index equal to false. I'll tell you what is the purpose of index, which we discussed already in the yesterday's session, but I'll tell you if needed. So now it has been returned. There is no buts. It has been returned. Now in that new rename.csv, how many columns are there? If you want to print it, I can print write dot columns. How many columns are there? You can see here. These are the columns I have. Name, team, marks, position, etc., etc. These are the columns we have. Now, if you want to make it return based on this, we can write it. So if you want to write something, you can see here in this folder, I'll search you that whether that name is there or not. So what is that name? A new underscore rename, something we kept. So just I'll put on a search. You can see here it has been done. So you can check with the date. So 10/7 2022 16:26. Just time is going to be 16:26. Hope you can see here it is visible. Okay, so this has been file has been created for us. You're writing. So if you want to write something here also, you can write it. So this is my file. If you want to write something, you can see here new underscore rename. My sheet name became like a new underscore rename. Got it? So this is how you have to write it. Now, if you want to add the column, yes, you can add the column. If you want to add the rows, you can add the rows which we discussed yesterday. So based on that, we can do it. Index is nothing but that zero. So yesterday, like normally, when you're going with a, I'll tell you about that. So normally, if you're not making this as false, by default, index will be having true. Index nothing but 0, 1, 2, 3, I said. So I'll leave this part. The 0, 1, 2, 3 is there, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So even this is going to be my data, right? Why it is not reflected here? Index is not there. But now, if you are giving us, if you're giving like this, okay, permission error. Okay, now when you're not giving this index equal to false was there. Okay, so this permission is not accepting because of already we are given some same file name. This file name we are given. So as of now, I'll do one thing. I'll try to take the statement, I'll make it as rename one. Okay? So rename one, I'll execute. It has been executed. There is no error. Now I'll go to my folder. I'll search for my name. So two files should be generated. So we'll search whether two name is generated or not. Okay, load from the beginning. Okay, you can see here it has been generated. So first, that is a new underscore rename has been generated on 16:26, and if you can see here, rename one has been generated in the time of 16:28. I'll open this. Yeah. So when I'm opening, can you see this number 0, 1, 2, 3? You can see here I'm opening the file name called as a new underscore rename one, and I'll keep this side bit side. You can see a difference of these two. This is nothing but my previous value which start with my name itself, and here it is starting with a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This I don't want because this is given by the machine. So why need to have to store in the my CSV file? There is no use, right? So as of, because in the CSV already we have this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If it is there again, why you want to go with the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4? There is no use, and it's like a wastage of memory. So to avoid this only, we are writing as index equal to false. If you are not giving this index equal to false, means index equal to false. If you're not writing this, then problem is nothing but what? That 0, 1, 2, 3, this value also will be stored in your CSV file. That if you don't want, then we can go like index equal to false. Clear? we have written, and what are the columns are there also we have printed. So this is how you have to write it. Okay. So that's about the C pandas. We'll close this. Don't want to spend much time on this because still we have to travel more about the NumPy and everything. See, okay, I'm okay. You're getting a bug. Okay, okay, cool, cool. So I'm getting a bug like saying right is not defined. Right is a variable there. So you can, in place of right, you can keep any name. So just I'll keep here. Here I kept right. That is what I think. So you made a mistake here. Store that in the right. Right is nothing, but it's not anything like writing something. Clear? It is like your file name. Suppose you're storing this file name. I'll add one more column. It is a variable. I think so. There only you have made a mistake, if I'm not wrong. So in place of right, I can give as Sarvesh. I can print Sarvesh just for telling you I am printing. So you can see here it is printed. Now, if you want to modify also, I can use that Sarvesh. This is nothing but variable. This variable can be anything. I can keep capital Z. So that capital Z I'm storing your entire pandas.csv. Just reading in the Z. Yeah. Sarvesh got it? Okay, fine, fine. Cool. Okay. Okay, chill. So next is nothing but we'll get started with a NumPy. So NumPy introduction. So generally, what is NumPy? What you know about NumPy? Any idea? You just tell me what is NumPy. In the beginning of the session, I said you only just what is NumPy or what is the full form of NumPy. I said you. Very good. It is called as a numerical Python. Wow, people are listening and rocking. I think so. You people will get full marks. I think so. Those who are continuous regular to the class. Because based on the session only I have taken the question, nothing from out. I lock, remember that, and based on the pandas how we worked. So theory wise also will be there, and kind of MCQ type will be there. I'll give a code based on the code how to perform. Good. So NumPy is nothing but it is called as a numerical Python. So now generally you will think like what you're performing in the numerical Python, you'll be performing about array. Everything is completely based on array. We can tell as a list. Array is nothing but list. So in the other programming language we have a array, but in the Python we don't have array. We that to replace that we have a list. But numeric Python is nothing but array. Why, sir? What is the difference? So I have a list, right? I can perform everything based on the list only. Then what is the use of NumPy? You might have a doubt. I'll give you a clarity why we want to go with a NumPy or why we learned list already. So list is nothing but how to represent the list. How to represent the list. Very good. So we'll go with what? Square bracket. So if you have anything with a square bracket, then that is going to be called as list, we can tell. Now, based on this list, how we can perform. So before going into the content, just I'll give you some intro. We'll put a new, from here I'll start. So I'll put as NumPy intro, because everything I'll put in the same file so that you can access day by day. Now, generally we have a list. So what is list? List is nothing but square bracket. Suppose a equal to suppose we have 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 is there. So now if you want to print a value, yes, I can print the a value. So if you want to find the print type of a is nothing but list. You can see here class list. Now same thing, if you want to print the zeroth index position, I can go with the a of 0. So in the a of zeroth index position we have a value 10. Suppose we can go with a of -2 also. So what is in the -2th index position? Can you give your answer? Anyone? What is in the minus second index position? Exactly. So minus 1 is nothing but 50, minus 2 is nothing but 40. Okay, keep it up. Next, so I can see the output here, it is going to be 40. Now, same thing, if you go with the numpy also, I'll do same operation. There is no biggest difference. Whatever you're doing here, list, if you know list, numpy you can learn very quickly. So for the pandas, I said, so to complete the entire pandas completely in depth, then we need nearly 10 to 15 hours. For pandas alone, you have to spend 10 to 15 hours to complete thorough about the pandas. But if you go with a numpy, just maximum 3 to 4 hours is sufficient to complete. Why? Because already whatever you learned in the list, as it is, you'll be learning in the numpy, but few advantage also will be there. Extra few things you should learn. If you don't know what is list, if you, because when I'm teaching you the basic level of FOP in the list concept, for the list alone, we have taken nearly 2.5 hours to complete only list topic alone. 2.5, nearly 3 hours we can tell. Two classes we have spent only for the list. Yeah, so there itself we thoroughly what is list. So now numpy will be, suppose if you are not learned, then bit difficult, you have to concentrate more, you have to spend some more time to get into the numpy easily. But those who know the list already, so that you can understand quickly, and few advantages are there, we can learn it. Now this how we can go with the list. So now if you go with the numpy, why numpy? What is the advantage? Nothing but for the numpy, just I'll give as a import numpy as np. Here I'll write as array1. Here you're going with a list. Okay, here you'll go with the array. So because numpy is called as a generally array. So array, how to create array? Np dot a range. A range you'll be using from where, from 5 to, sorry, 5 to 14, I'll give something like that, and print that arr1. You can see here I'm able to print that entire list. And this list is now, if you want to access also, you can access print only, array of minus 1th index position. So minus 1th index position is going to be 13, last index position is called as a minus 1, so it is going to be printing 13. So now what is the difference of these both? And suppose if you want to go with a type of this also, I'll show you with a type. So type of array1, and see here it is numpy. So numpy dot nd. Nd is nothing but n dimensional array. So now what is the difference of these both? Just check. Whatever you do here, as it is you're doing here. But what is the advantage? Advantage is nothing but speed, efficiency. Speed will be good and accessible will be easy for us. And what about the list then? List is nothing but if you want to give 10 values, you should type 10 values. If you want to give 60, I have to give 60. 70 means I have to give 70. 80 means I have to give 80, 90. 100 means I have to give manually one by one. But here what I'll do? Nothing. Just I'll give like start from 10. Yeah, end with a 100 is given. So what I have to do, ending value will give as a 101. Step should be 10 times. You can see here I got the output. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, up to 90, oh sorry, up to 100 I got it, and it is going to be printing my value. So what is in the minus second index position? 90. You can print it, same output, but see the changes. Did I type that 120, like sorry, 10, 20 up to 100? No, just I am giving here the range. So starting range is going to be 10, ending range is going to be 100, so that you have to give one plus. So that I'm giving as a 101, because if you're giving as a 100 here, up to 90 only it will be taken, up to 90 only it will be taken. Yeah, it won't take 100. That is why you're giving as a 101. So if you're giving as 101, like 101 will not be considered, so previous value up to 100 will be considered. So 10 is nothing but 10 step you will be moving. From the 10 you will move 10 step forward, so 20. From 20 again 10 step you will be moving, so it will become 30. From 30 again 10 step it will become 40. Suppose you give as a 5. So what if I'm giving as a 5? It will go with a, it will start with a 10, then next number should be 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. You can see here start with a 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, etc, etc, because you're moving 5 step forward. Yep. So this is how it works. Now These are the many advantage. Like this is going to be one advantage I can tell. Like this, we have many advantage. So this is why we are learning about the NumPy. So accessible will be easy, speed, efficiency will be easy. And if you want to perform large set of data, like a 1,000 plus of a data, suppose I'm giving a value up to 1,000 or up to 1,000, I'll give you. Can see here I can perform easily. But same thing if you want to perform in the list, is it possible to type from 10, 20, 30, like up to 1,000? Can you type manually like this? Is it possible to type? Not possible, right? That is what we are telling. So for these kind of things only we are learning NumPy. Okay. So now, so NumPy is nothing but it looks like this. So if you want to go with a tabular fashion, like a based on the matrix wise, we can tell as completely matrix. So to add a matrix, to subtract your two matrix, whatever might be there, I can perform. So now, generally in the other programming language, we have only two types of array. One is going to be, we'll discuss like one by one. So one is going to be one dimensional array, two dimensional array, maximum multi-dimensional array. That is what you have discussed. But here in the NumPy, it provides 0D also. 0D, 1D, 2D, 3D, 4D. Like this, you can have n number of Ds. That is what we are telling as a ND array. ND array is nothing but n dimensional array. So now in the NumPy concept, what are the things I'll be covering? I'll show you what is NumPy, will discuss what is the use of NumPy, why we are using this NumPy, will discuss why the NumPy is faster than the list. I have proved already, but one more time I'll show you one more time, so no issue. And getting started with our NumPy, here we'll start and create the NumPy using ND array object. We'll discuss dimensional in array. So based on the 0D, 1D, 2D, 3D up to ND, we'll discuss. Check number of dimension you have. So suppose if you have a 1D, 2D, I can count. If you have one bracket, it's going to be 1D. If you have a two dimensional, then two bracket. Like this, I'm giving 1,000 bracket. So how can we count manually? Not possible. So how to figure out or how to check the number of dimension we have in this given array? What is the higher dimension array? What is the maximum array we can keep? Okay, so based on the indexing, how to perform. So if it is a one list, so if you have a one dimension array, if we have a one square bracket like a 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 is there, if I'm storing in the a of 0 means I can tell it is going to be 1, a of 1 means here, 2 means here, 3 means here, fine. What if you have a two dimensional array? Like this, you have here we have 1 comma 2, here we have 3 comma 4, here I have 5 comma 6. Now you have to print only 6. Is it possible to print 6? Generally like a of minus 1 I'll give. When giving us a minus 1, do you think 6 will be printed? Completely no. So if it is a 2D, how to access based on the indexing? If it is a three-dimensional, how to access? If it is a 4D, how to access? If it is a 5D, how to access? Even if it is a ND also, even if you're telling me to, sir, I have 15 dimension, how to access my 15th value? I can do it. Okay, so access the two-dimensional array and how to access the three-dimensional array I'll discuss. So next, last is nothing but negative indexing. So that is what I'm telling, this minus 1. So minus 1 means what will happen? It will print 5 comma 6. It will print with a 5 comma 6. But I don't want 5 comma 6. But I need only this 6 alone. Then minus 1 of minus 1. Like this, etc. are there. We'll discuss that. So negative indexing we'll discuss. Next, for 13th is nothing but slicing. So how to go with the slicing also I'll teach you. Then NumPy data type. So inside the NumPy, what are the data types we have? So like an integer, float, like that. How many data types have we have it? We'll discuss. Last is nothing but we have a shallow copy and the deep copy. So most is nothing but array, copy, and view. So how to copy and how, what is the difference between view and copy? So we have a shallow copy, okay, and deep copy. I'll write as shallow copy and the deep copy. What is the difference of these two also I'll tell you. Okay, at last you will understand, but you'll get into one by one. It takes some time. So today if you are starting NumPy, doesn't mean that today only I'll complete. It takes some time. It can extend in the next class or upcoming class also. Okay, now just without making any delay, just will get started with what is NumPy. So for going with a NumPy, first thing in your, you have to install that NumPy. So if you want to install something like a pandas you're installing, or if you want to install NumPy, first of all you have to go with the pip install. So pip install pandas. I'm giving as a pandas. You can see here it will load. Okay, so I have installed. So if you have installed already, so it will show like your requirement has been satisfied already, which I showed you in the last class itself. So in the beginning or second day I showed you this. So requirement already satisfied. You'll be getting this because already I have installed. Okay, now do one thing. Now we have to install numpy. So I have to give as pip install numpy. I have to type as a numpy. When you're typing as numpy, I'll be getting the output called as requirement already satisfied because in my system already I have numpy. But this is the first time you're doing in your system. So do one thing, try to type this. When you're typing this, it takes nearly 3 to 5 seconds or it takes 10 seconds also depend upon your processor. Okay. So once you have given, okay, once it is executed, you'll get as successfully has been installed, like this kind of few messages you'll be getting. So if you're getting it, then it has been installed properly. So you can see here I got a statement like requirement already satisfied because already I have numpy. So first step to get started is nothing but install numpy in your Jupyter notebook. Yep, if it is done, post yes in the chat. Do on your laptop only. If it is done, let me know. Good. Compared to pandas, numpy will be easy. We can tell as a very easy. There many things are there to learn, but here only few things are there. In that few thing itself, you will do many experiment. Okay, now after installing, next is nothing but suppose I have to go with the importing part. So import numpy as np. Numpy as a np I'm keeping. Fine. Even you can keep same. This is called as alias name. So you in place of np you can give nn, n double p, whatever name you want to give you can give. Even single character also fine. To understand purpose we are using as a np. Np means numpy used to tell. So num and pi. So np we are telling. So now next. So now we have to create the array value, array set of values. So just we'll discuss about the list, tuples, etc. one by one. What kind of output you are getting, we'll discuss. Now ARR is equal to NP. There you are using PD because of a pandas we are using a PD. Here we are using a numpy NP. So NP I'm using NP dot ARRAY array. Yeah. So now I have to create an array. So what is my value? Suppose 10, 20, 3, 4, 50. I have created and I'm trying to print my ARR. And here we have created. So 10, 20, 3, 4, 50. We have created. So now how to create with a list? Same thing I using in the list also. In the list, what we'll do? We'll give this bracket. That's all. Okay. Same thing. If you want to check this data type also, we can check like type of ARR. You can see here it is going to be n dimensional array. Now, sir, if you without using the square bracket, is there any solution to get it? Yes, I can use the tuple also. So this completely based on the we can tell as a list bracket. List means not list here. It is I'm telling about list bracket, square bracket, or you can write as a array also. Array also. NumPy is array only, but we have discussed about the list. From there, we are trying to learn one by one. Now, so now if you want to create with help of tuples, also you can create with help of tuples. How? Same scenario. Just I'll copy here to save a minute. So here, in place of the square bracket, what is the representation of tuple? Can you post in the chat? Representation of tuple. Very good. Yes, that is going to be a round bracket. So can I use round bracket like this? Why not? It is a tablet representation. I can use it. Now, if you are checking, you can see here, I am able to predict the output. Yes, I have did with a square bracket previously. Now we are doing with a circle bracket, tuple bracket. Yes, I'm getting the output as n dimensional array only. So now this is how you have to create your numpy using the list or by using the array or by using the tuples. So can we give dictionary? Not possible. Okay, so but I'll try to give like that. Is it possible to give us a dictionary? You can see here, why not? So it is going to be a set not a, sorry, it's not a dictionary, it is a set. Okay, so dictionary means you will be having a pairing. Okay, so here this bracket belongs to the set. Yeah, and if you want to give separately, so like you're storing in a variable called as res is equal to giving this, and I'm trying to print the type of this res. I'll print the type of this res as of now. As you can see here, it is going to be set bracket. This is a data type of a set. Now that set I'm trying to load inside my array. So now it has been changed to n dimensional array. So with that bracket, you can have that representation. Yeah. So now if you want to access also, you can access anything. Same thing, how you are going with indexing, same way you have to access. Same thing if you want to know about my version of my pandas, or if you want to go with a version of your numpy. So my pandas is going to be pd. So before that I have to do one thing, import. So I think already we have imported in the same sheet, no issue. So pd dot underscore underscore version, to check what version you are using for the pandas. Same thing if you want to check for the numpy, what is my extension of numpy? We are used np dot underscore underscore version. So in my laptop, I'm using this particular version. Okay, so 1.19.2. So for the pandas, I'm using 1.1.3. You might update it because just now we have installed everything. So you might have different version, or it can be a same also. Yeah, anything is fine. To find the version, you can go with the underscore underscore. Here we have a two underscore, and see here. So when you're seeing it, it's not visible properly, but here we have a underscore underscore. Now, how to create a numpy using n dimensional object? How to create by using n dimensional object? We have discussed already. So now that is what the n dimensional array we are using. Now, how to figure out the dimension? So how many dimension we have? Like how to go with a 0D, how to go with a 1D, 2D. So we'll discuss one by one. Same thing, if you have, like we have discussed in the pandas, like shape. So what does the shape do? So it does like how many rows are there, how many columns are there, it will give. So now I'll go with the a range and I have to reshape it. So now if you go with the import numpy as nd or np, anything, array 1 is equal to, I'm going with the np dot a range. A range is nothing but, we have a range here. So we have a range which we have discussed already. Range is nothing but you have to give that value as it is array. So what is the range? From here to here you are giving. But a range is nothing but from where to where. You have to give a starting to end. Should be there. At least if you're giving as a range, it is a kind of looping only. So example, I'll tell you. I'll add a one more cell here. In the for loop, we'll do this. Suppose my for loop. So for I in range, from where to where? From 0 to 5 I'm giving. 0 to 5 means I have to give 6. Then print the value of I. You can see here it is printing one by one. It is printing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is how it is printing. And if you want to print in the same line, how to print in the same line? Just by using end is equal to some space I'll give. You can see here I'll be getting in the one single line. And this kind of stuff already we have discussed in the previous batch we have discussed. So end. Those who are new batch, just listen here. Suppose if you are printing only IE, it is printing in next line. I don't want to print in the next. By default, print statement will give you. So if you want to print in the same line, then it should be end is equal to. So whenever you have any question based on the end with a double quotation, then you have to remember that your output will be in the same line. Clear? In the test, I'll ask this question. I said you this properly. I'll ask this wanted. I'll ask this question. So some question I'll give you, and I'll give like print comma end is equal to space, or I'll give as a double quotation space. So my output wantedly I'll give like 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. In the same line I'll give 0 1 2 3 4. I'll give in the next line, like that also I'll give. So choose the right answer, remember this. So now this how we are writing. So np dot a range. A range is nothing but from this range. From which range? From 0 to 6. I'll write as from 0 comma 6. Then what I have to do? I have to print my ARR1. And see here, it is getting printed. Okay. So because we are dealing with a numpy, so it is going to be array bracket is there, list bracket is there. This is nothing but a general value. So now if you want to convert this as a list also, you can convert it as a list. So print the value with help of list. So we have a method called as a list. So int object is not iteratable, yes, because you have to store that in the third variable, then you have to do it. Or we'll give like, I'll give like, if you want to print in the square bracket, I'll tell you the answer. So a equal to, I'll give this array. Okay. So what are the I values there? Try to append my I value in the A. Okay. At last print A value. At last print my A value. So that I'll be getting the answer like this. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll be getting. So same thing here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here it is printing with a comma because of only reason it is going to be a different error. It is a just list, but it is going to be a numpy. So even if you want to find the type of A, so type of A is nothing we can see here. I'll remove this end so that will print in the next line. So you can see here it is going to be list. Same thing if you want to find this type of this array, ARR1, you can see it is going to be n dimensional array. So if you want to go with n dimensional array, it is getting printed with value. Here it is printing with a comma separated. And those are changes. Now, if you want to go with a two-dimensional array, so if you want to go with a two-dimensional array, what I have to do? Then I have to write a two for loops. One for loop is for the row, one more for loop is for the column. Like this I have to write. But in the NumPy, we have advantage like reshape. So suppose I'll be giving like 5 comma 17. So what is 5 comma 17? So just I'll remove this, or I'll put in the next cell so that you can see step by step. Sorry, I'll remove this print statement. You can see here it is printing in one dimensional. One square bracket means it is called as a one dimensional. I don't want in a one dimensional. I have to convert this value to 2 rows 3 columns, or a 3 rows 3 columns. How many values are they? Just count. We have a 3, here we have a 3 6, and here we have a 3 is 9, and 12 is there. So now 12, how can I reshape 12 values? How can I reshape? Or suppose you have 14 is there, so 14 means I can have this much small values. We can go step by step. We'll learn small values. So here we have a 3, here we have a 3, and here we have a 3. So totally we have 9 values. 9 values, how can we shape it? Either I can go with a 1 row 14 columns, that is what we are displaying, or I can reshape it as a 3 cross 3 matrix. I'll give as a reshape. So reshape, by when I'm calling this 5 comma 14, it is giving me one dimensional. You're telling to the interpreter or a machine that I don't want in a one dimensional array, I need in a 3 cross 3 matrix, like a 3 rows and 3 columns. I can give 3 comma 3. You can see here it has been created. So how many rows are there? 3 rows. How many columns are there? 3 columns. This is how the numpy is going to be efficient. We are telling in the list, is it possible? In the list you have to give like this, square of square, like this you have to write. So you have to write this manually. That is going to be a hectic task in the list. That is why we are learning numpy. So now reshape. Now sir, I have to reshape it as 8 comma 2. Do we have 16 values? 18 rules and 16, right? Do we have 16 values? No. You can see here, cannot reshape the array size 9 because you're given a shape like a shape as a8 comma 2. What is my size? 9. 9, how can I reshape it as 8 comma 2? Not possible, right? Okay. Suppose you are giving 20 values. 20. So 20 means how many from, or 21 I'll give you. So 21 means from, sorry, 20 only. So from 5 to 20, so you will be having some values like this. And if you want to find the length of this also, you can find with a length. Suppose you're feeling difficult to count, then I can go with a length of here. So what is my length? 15. So 15 means how can I split? I can split like reshape it as 3 rows, 5 column, or 5 rows, 3 columns. You can see here we have a 3 rows, 5 column. So if you want to split it as 5 rows, 3 column, yes, I can do it. You can see here we got nearly 5 rows and 3 column. So I am using length method to find the length of my list or array. Yeah. Now 15, how can I reshape? Is there any other possible to reshape 15? Just think, is there any other possible to reshape 15? I think the only solution is going to be this. Other than 1 comma, you can give 1 comma 1 comma 15 also. So giving us 1 comma 15 is going to be one dimensional array. Okay. And what is my length? You can see the length here 1. Because it is going to be one dimensional array, so length is going to be only one set of values. So when you're going with a 5 comma 3, I can get that totally we have how many rows? Totally we have 5 rows. So length of my array is going to be 5. So because this is going to be one count, so this square bracket is going to be second count. 11, 12, 13 is going to be count 3 and count 4 and count 5. So totally we have a 5 set of values. So length is going to be 5. Yeah, this is how we can reshape. Now suppose you're taking one more array like this, so leave about this length. Suppose you are moving from, we'll keep as, I'll share this answer. You want to learn, I can learn from free, like have this. Next I'll go with a one more square bracket, like I'll store in the array 2. How to perform with a matrix? Two, like a matrix is there and B matrix is there. You have to add a two matrix, A plus B you have to make. So generally in the Python program language, it takes very much of time when you're going with a general FOP. But in the pandas, we can discuss with the row and the column easily. If you go with a numpy, we can do it more efficiently also. So if you want to add, if you want to multiply the two matrix, yes, it is easy. So now I'll show you that. So now I'll start with 5 comma 14. Okay, so next I'll start with 9. 9 comma I'll give as a 18. Okay. So now I have to reshape it as a 3 cross 3 matrix. So reshape it as a 3 cross 3 matrix. Here also replace it as a 3 cross 3 matrix. Print array 1 and the array 2. You can see here it has been printed. Array 1 is going to be this, and array 2 which start with a 9 ending with a value 17. Because 18, if you're giving 18 will not be considered, so that I'm giving as a 18, so that up to 17 will be considered. Now how to add two matrix? These are the two matrix. Yeah, these are the two matrix. How to add this two matrix? Generally, how we'll write addition of two matrix? You have to take 0 comma 0. So you'll be having a two matrix. From there I'll show that over here. We'll be having a two matrix. So 3 cross 3 means A matrix is going to be, suppose I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 plus B matrix. So this is going to be B matrix I'll keep. So 9 8 1 2 3 4 6 7 9, something we have like this. So how to add it? So this value and this value, this value and this value. Suppose if you want to do plus, is completely easy. What about the multiplication? So 1 into 9 plus 2 into 4, then 3 into 6. I think so this is how we'll be working in the mathematics, right? So this how the, then for this we have to use a two for loop. So first for loop is for row wise, and second for loop is for the column wise. Individual time I have to iterate. So complexity will be like big of n square, because two for loop we are moving. So inside the for loop we'll be having have another for loop. Then your complexity is going to be big of n square or big of n into n. Up to your technical term, you can use it. So now this is how it will work. And suppose if you have one more for loop to print again, because you have some value, I have to print that value. So for printing again, I need to use one more for loop for the row and one more for loop for the column. So then in your source code, in your program, nearly you'll be having four, at least four for loop will be there. At least four, I'm telling. It can be more than that, depends upon your experiment only. So like how you're writing your code, that knowledge only. So at least you'll be having a four to convert from one to next, store it to display the value. So it takes some etc time. For this purpose only, we are going with a numpy. So when you're going with a numpy, just you will write like array 1 plus array 2 added in the array 3, and after storing it, just print what is my array 3, and here we got the output. So my array 1 is going to be this, and array 2 is going to be from here, and array last is going to be here. So you can see here 9 plus 5 is going to be 14, 6 plus 10 is going to be 16. Yeah. So next is nothing but 7 plus 11 is going to be 18. Then next is going to be 8 plus 12 is going to be 20, etc etc. Hope you know the addition by using the two ways. Same thing what we are draw there, same thing. So first 5, next here 9. So 5 and 9 will give you the answer as 14. Okay. Same thing for the last one, 13. 13 plus 17. Your answer is going to be 30. So did I use any for loop for printing or for adding? Did I use any for loop? Nothing is like that. Okay. So this is how you have to go with the values. Now suppose you want to go with the multiplication. So for the multiplication, what I'll do, same thing for the addition of how you are using plus. For the multiplication, I'll use that. Since your value has been multiplied, 5 into 9 multiplied, next 6 into 10 multiplied. So all the values has been multiplied one by one. Finally your result has been displayed. So if you want to do division, or if you want to find the mean value, and etc etc, for if you want to find the min value or a max value from the array, everything is possible inside this matrix. So numpy will make you easy possible. Now what is next? Next is nothing but creating the numpy by using the n dimensional object. So we'll jump into that content. I'll share this in the chat. For the plus, I'll share. Awesome, right? So really see here in the what are the things you're doing in the list, like a few things you learned already in the list. It makes a complete depend on the user. I should manually type from one value to the another value, or I should give the starting and the ending value in the for loop, so that it will be giving me the list. But see here, we are able to reshape flexibly. We are able to reshape. So if you want to make it as a 5 cross 3, also we are making 3 cross 5, also we are able to make it. So this kind of advantage we have in the numpy. This is the reason we are telling us it is going to be convenient for the user when you're going with the project implementation. You will be having a data sets, because when you're going with the research oriented, you will be completely based on the data set. So suppose your data set is going to be different thing, like based on whatever data set you are taking, that everything is going to be completely is based on the numpy only. So dimensional wise you will be having. So now if you go with next is nothing but dimension wise. So I'll go with the dimension. So based on the dimension, like whether we can go with a 1 second. Okay, sorry. So here in dimension in the array. So what are the dimensions we have in the array? We'll check it out. Now, so now
So
first
one
we'll
thing,
go with
sir.
the one dimensional. So yeah,
Sir, can we have the array number also along with the matrix, along with the array?
array
Which is
number
array
in the sense
one,
like
which
a
is
size
array
you're
two?
telling.
No,
Yeah, sir.
which
That is
is
what the
array
next
one,
topic
which
is.
is okay.
Yeah, sir, we can have. We'll deal with that 0D, 1D. That is what next thing we'll discuss. So now suppose you want to go with a zero dimension. So import numpy as np. Now I have to go with a 0D. How can I go with a 0D? 1D means I can tell like one bracket is there, so that I can go with the one dimensional. Two bracket means I can go with the 2D. So now how to understand the 0D? Have you learned something called a 0D? We don't have any other, like if you go with C also, we don't have anything like a zero. We start with a 1D only, we can tell. Java also we can tell. Zero D, and Java we have a flexible option called as a, other than the one dimensional array or a multi-dimensional array, we have something called as a ragged or the jagged array we used to tell. So ragged and the jagged is nothing but we can tell as a anonymous array. So if user want to have like flexible, like in the first row I have to have a 3 columns, in the second row I need to have a 10 columns. Like this I can increase my row wise, like as my wish. That is called as a ragged or the jagged array. We have only feature in the Java, in advanced core Java we used to tell. But in the NumPy it has same such kind of thing. Suppose I have array is equal to np dot array. Suppose I'm giving only one value called as 42. Just I'm giving 42. There is no bracket. Just understand what I'm doing, and I'll try to print ARR. So what is my value? 42. And if you judge the type of this, 42 is in the square bracket. No, it isn't just 40. It is a value only, right? So now, if you see the type of this, still it will give you the output as type of array. Still you give you the output as n dimensional array only. So now, how to figure out this? That is going to be 0D. How we are telling it as 0D? How we are telling as a 1D? How to check it? For that, we have a print statement. That is what to check the dimension. I showed you that topic. And see here, dimension of the array we'll discuss. Next we'll go with the check number of dimension. So one by one we are getting started. So check dimension. How to check the dimension? So this belongs to 0D. How can you prove? Nothing but by using variable. So what is my variable? Variable dot ndim. Ndim we will use. Ndim is nothing but n dimensional we used to tell. So what is my n dimensional? 0D we are using. So you can see here it is going to be 0. Okay, we'll work on with a 1D also. I'll share this in the chat. Yeah, super, right? See one by one how it is making us very comfortable. So everything is like how quickly you can learn. It won't take much time when you compare with the pandas. So now suppose you have a square bracket. So in the square bracket 42 and 52 or something 60 something, I will be giving some random value with a square bracket. Now can we tell it belongs to how many D? You only post the answer. I'm using one square bracket. So what is the dimension should be? Yes, exactly. So here nothing but we'll be getting as output as 1 because we are using one dimension. One bracket is there. Understand sir how to figure out? Very simple here. One, if you have a one square bracket, that is called as a one dimensional. If you have a two square bracket, that is called as a two dimensional. If you have a three bracket, that is going to be, bracket means what you're meaning. Bracket means I'm meaning for this bracket. This square bracket, if you have one time, this is called as 1D, one dimension. Suppose if you have a two bracket, like a list within list, like this, if you have, okay, some element are there, etc., etc. So this is going to be completely is called as a two dimension. Same thing for the three means how we'll mention. You'll be having three square bracket like this. So here you'll be having some element. Here also you can have some elements. Okay. Here you will be having some more elements like this. Anything will be there. So here also you'll be having some element. Here also you'll be having some element. So that's how the individual matrix works. So now we are using the one square bracket. So one square bracket is going to be, I'm printing that array. So I have printed my array values. Now to find the type, we can go with the type function. It is going to be numpy dot n dimensional array. And what is my ndim? Ndim is nothing but to find how many dimension you're using. Ndim is nothing but n dimensional. What dimension you are using? So I'm using 0 dimension or 1 dimension. It will be get printed. So now how to go with the 2 dimension? Check with the 2 dimensions up to you only. So 2 dimension, we will have a square bracket of 2. So I'll give like inside this bracket, I'll give a square bracket of square bracket. I'll remove this 42 as outside. I'll give as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see here output is going to be 2. Why 2? So previously we are printing 1 dimension, right? Sorry, 0 dimension. Why 0? Because we are not used any square bracket. Here I'm using that square bracket. So here one bracket is there, so one dimension. Here we are having a two brackets, so it is going to be two dimension. Simple, very, very simple. Than this we cannot make easy. So same thing, if you want to go with a three dimension, I don't want to tell, you know the answer. You can tell like inside this we'll be having three brackets, one bracket, two bracket, and three bracket. So now if you want to go with three different values like a 1 comma 2 comma 3, this belongs to one set of family. I'll go with one more set of family like 4 comma 5 comma 6. I can go now one more set of family. I can give 5 comma 6 comma 7. Can I do like this? You can see here it is printing on how many D? How many brackets are there? Three brackets. Opening is going to be three and closing is going to be totally we have a three bracket. So if you have opening and closing, if you have a three bracket, then for sure it should be a three-dimensional array. So you can see the output as three-dimensional array. Is it all right? Okay, so is it clear up to here? If it is clear, can you post clear in the chat? I'll post this answer also. Yeah, fine. What happened? Any doubts are there? No response? Or I have some problem in my internet. Have you posted anything? Is it clear or not? Is it clear? If yes, post clear. Okay, fine. Okay, super. Now we have done with a 1D, 2D, 3D, and if you want to go with a 4 dimension also, yes, very simple. We'll go with a 4 square bracket. Simple, right? It's awesome because one thing if you're learning, it makes up to the n dimension array. So that is how the NumPy works, which makes our user very convenient. So by using that tricky way, by counting that symbol, how many time it is starting, how many time it is going to be closed. So 3 time it is open, so 3 time it is going to be closed. For sure, it should be like a 3 dimension array. So 2 dimension means 2 time it is opening and closing. So if you want to measure the dimension, we can go with a ND. So we have discussed what is array, what is a range, what is array we have discussed, n dimensional we have discussed, and how to figure out the reshape. So if you want to, according to the user flexibility, if you want to reshape your arrays, I can do this. Yeah. Okay. What is next? Nothing but higher dimension. So now in this maximum, how much dimension I can figure out. So suppose example, I'll give like import numpy as n. Now I'll be loading my array value, so is equal to np dot, I'll use array concept. So array, inside this array function I'll be giving a value 5 4 3 2 1. Now I have a one more parameter called as a many things. Yesterday we have discussed about the pandas, many parameters we have discussed. So in this we have like object is there, d type is there, data type. So d type is going to be none, and copy is going to be true, and order is going to be k. What is order? I'll tell you in the next class. So you can see here n dimension can be tell as a 0. Nd is nothing but n dimensional is going to be minimum is going to be 0. At least should be like a 0 at start. But now I'm telling my nd min, I have to make it as a 5. You're making as a 5, it will convert this 1D as a 5D. You can see the answer here, how it is awesome. Here 5 bracket is opening and 5 is going to be closed up. So now suppose if you want to find the type of this ARR, I can see here it is going to be ND only, ND array, because you are using n dimensional array, it is ND. So now if you want to find the NDEM, so array dot NDEM. NDEM is nothing but for n dimensional array. How many arrays we are using here to print it, we can go that. You can see here we are having 5D. Highest I can give like, suppose you're giving 32. You can see here 32 bracket has been created and my NDEM is going to be 32. As you wish, you can change. This is going to be a n dimensional thing. So if you want to have a 1 dimension, I have to convert it as a 10 dimension. Then I can give as NDEM, make it as a 10. I can have that 10 dimension. So 10 bracket is open and 10 bracket is going to be closed. Okay. This is what the higher. So like this, can I give 100? here. There is no possible for the 100. So that is what next concept I said you will discuss about the higher dimension array. What is my highest value I can give? So 100 is not possible. We'll give 50. 50 is possible. No, you can see here I end them bigger than the allowable numbers. So you can see the maximum in this error itself 32 is allowed. So now I'll be giving as 33. We know answer is going to be 32 is going to be highest, but we'll try with the 33. Why not? 33. You can see here when I'm giving 33 also, it is going to be not allowed. Why? Because my maximum dimension should be only 32. Suppose you're giving 32 now. Will it work? Why not? So you can see here. So maximum higher dimension in the numpy array, it is going to be 32 brackets. Okay, this is one more question I'll be asking in the test. So what is my highest dimension we can give in the numpy? So highest is going to be 33, 34, 50, 100, or like that kind of option I'll give you. It should be 32. Yeah. So up to here is sufficient. So I think so. Satya Bhanu ma'am has been joined. I think so. She joined. No, I think so. I think so. She joined and left.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, okay. Yeah, ma'am.
Hi,
You can. Hi, ma'am. Good
Hi.
evening.
Good evening. Okay. Just a second. Why the background is changed. I don't know. Just give me a moment. Okay. So how are you all doing? Yes. I didn't meet this batch so far. So normally the day one, I used to address people, but I was a little busy. That's the reason I asked Parmesh to continue. I didn't get any response. Good only. Okay. Why don't you speak, unmute and speak to me? Very silent class. Being Sunday, you guys are have a commitment to attend session. That's really happy to see you all. Yes.
Doing good, ma'am.
Yeah, good. Dr. Maharajan responded. Okay. So how about the session? How the things going on here? You're able to understand the training?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Since it is an advanced program, the people who are all lagging in basic may find it difficult, but others you may find it easy, I believe. Okay. So because this is our ninth batch, what you are attending is our ninth batch. Okay. And Paramesh is a very good trainer, and he conducts session very well and giving assignments, everything. Okay. So you're comfortable learning, right? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, fine. Actually, people, we are planning an internship program in Inspire with the Python only. We are planning to give projects like that. A real-time work, and Paramesh only going to be a facilitator for that program also. It's a month-long project. It's a month-long work. We are starting on this 13. 13 it goes till August. I guess till it goes, just a second, let me check the dates.
August
It was
8th.
already, yes ma, August?
8.
Yeah, August 8th. From 13th to August 8th, we are planning. So it will be a little bit different from this regular program. You'll be given more challenges to work on it. And as well as he will be giving the basic ideas, and you have to build your own project. So you'll be getting a real-time exposure. Since this is a 10 days program, what you are attending is advanced concepts with 10 days. That means 2 weeks program. But that one, it comes around 4 weeks program. You'll be getting those who are participating. Maybe if you are a professor in a college or something, staff also, we can offer this, and they can learn something. They can circulate this input to maybe your students. It's payable only, but still it's a very nominal cost we are offering, since we need to take care of the expenses from our end also. Okay, so that details I have already shared through in our WhatsApp group. Maybe I'll mail you also with the full details. Okay, that you can plan for it. It's very short notice I'm giving. Since other colleges, we have signed up an MOU, they are giving that date only. So we thought, okay, we can offer for the people who are all asking also at the same time. So that's the reason it's a quick launch. We made it today. This one already members have been enrolled. It's only limited batch only. We are not going to have so many members, but limited batch with the interaction will be there as usual. Attendance will be there, obviously. So if you are interested, you let me know. I'll be sharing the detail. Already I have shared. You can go through that. I'll send you the mail. Okay, because since we people are signed, we are connected with AACT. We got a corporate ID from AACT. So we are authorized to conduct AACT internship. So we can couple with this with the AACT internship only. This one we are making it. Okay, right. That's absolutely fine. Any feedback you would like to discuss, you can discuss with me now. Since the end day, I may not be available to discuss with you during this end day of this program. That's the reason I joined in the middle. Anything you want to enhance in our training or any feedback you would like to share about Paramesh also, you can speak now. Stephen, sir? Stephen, sir? Sharad is there. Dr. Maharaja is there. People, am I audible? Why don't you respond?
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
audible.
I am audible.
Okay, then why don't you respond? Why don't you speak?
Parmesh sir is teaching well, very much patient.
Okay.
Actually, yes. Again, he's teaching good, ma'am. Good.
Actually, he has a much tough situation for this batch, he said. Actually, people are interacting lesser compared to other batches like that. So I easily sense now. So what is his problem in the batch? People, you can interact well. Since you want to learn something, you have to speak more. Then only you will get what to be done, right? Okay, anyways, so at least Magarajan sir, thank you so much for giving the feedback. Anybody else would like to say anything? If possible, I will join in the end day, if possible. I'm not sure. Okay, wonderful program. Thank you so much, Sharad. Thank you. And, is much dedicated in training. Starting on time, ending on time, maintaining punctuality. That's the reason I was asking him, can I join around 5:15? Like that, I was asking him, I have sent him the request. He said, okay, that's the reason I have joined. I don't want to ruin your time also. Okay, anyway, at the end, I thought of joining. Even I really, want to thank you for that. Like even the Sunday also, you have a commitment to attend the program. I'm really happy. Are you receiving recordings regularly? And you are, see, I have given access for editing also. Editing in the sense, like editor in the sense, you can download and watch. So that option also I gave. And only few said they are not received. And again, I have forwarded to. If you send the share request, I can give you one. Okay, then you can even download the recording. At any time you can watch. But it is available in the drive. I'm not deleting anything. So whenever you want to watch, you can watch through drive also. It is available always. We are keeping as an asset only. We are not deleting. We are not removing from the drive. That is always available. That's a message I would like to tell you. Okay. So if anybody is willing, and you can join the internship also for the full swing of Python, if you are interested, provided that you could be a staff or any undergraduate or postgraduate can join the program, because it is going to be a real-time exposure for everyone. Okay, right. So see you. Bye-bye. Thank you, Paramesh.
Thank you, ma'am. Good day.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy Sunday. The ending time, I'm telling you, happy Sunday.
Thank you, ma'am. Happy Sunday to you too.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm always happy and I'm enjoying. I'm keeping my energy alive always, anytime. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, ma'am. Have a nice day.
Yeah. Paramesh, if you want, you can
Okay,
close the
so
session.
fine, guys. And yeah, ma'am, 2 minutes. So fine guys, we have done with up to the NumPy based on the higher dimension we have discussed. Just remember the topic and just what are things we have did today. Try to implement one by one. Just see the recording as you have access about the recording. See the recording and try to implement by your own. One step by step you can learn very quickly, because in 1.5 hours I cannot slow up and cover all the topics. So I'll continuously teach. If you have any doubt also let me know. If not, if you want to implement also, you can implement.
Sorry, Parmesh, have
one by one.
Say informed the change in timing for them. Change in timing for them.
No, ma'am. I'll discuss about that. I'll call you, ma'am.
Okay. Because from tomorrow we can make it right. So that's why. Since Wednesday we are going for internship. That's why. Okay.
Yeah, correct, ma'am. One more update I got from the other batch also. I'll discuss with you. I'll call you, ma'am. One session is over. I'll call you back.
Yeah.
Then we'll announce.
Thank you.
So fine, implement it and do one thing. Like nearly, I think so. We can see that 6 to 5 people are there. Do one thing, and people, if you are not able to speak, no issue. Go with a group. Okay. Go with our WhatsApp group. Share, like we have done with the 50% of the course. So only 10 days out of 10 days we have done with the 5D. So 50% of the course over. And same thing, ma'am was asking about the feedback. Do one thing, if you're not able to speak immediately or if you're not able to share the text, so take your time, go with the WhatsApp group. I'll give you time now. Go to WhatsApp group. Just what happened in the previous up to today's session, what you feel, what is about the content, whether you are able to get the content or not, whatever you feel as a feedback, or if you feel like something should be improved, whatever might be there, feel free to talk. Just put as a small word in the group only, because few have joined, few have not joined, so let them also know what is happening in the session. So you can give the feedback in the WhatsApp group only. Once session is over, just spend 2 to 3 minutes for me, just kind of my request from my end. Okay, so that I can accordingly I can prepare. Suppose if you feel like the speed is sufficient, so this is the same speed we can continue, no issue. And if you feel that yesterday some, I think so, Sharvish was telling about bit fast, today I think so I have controlled my speed. So like this, if you have some suggestions, whatever might be there, whatever you feel to express, you can put in the WhatsApp group. I'll learn everything. So based on that, remaining 5 days will carry on. Suppose you feel that everything is fine, comfortable, what you're moving now, same moment you can move until the end. If you feel that also, please try to post that, so the remaining 5 days I can teach you in comfortable way. Because normally with other batch I used to interact like anything. They used to make a fun in the class itself, even though it is online. Sir, one they'll make some mistake, then they'll unmute and tell that, sir, I know the answer, but until I made a mistake, that is my thing. Like that kind of many funds will be there. This batch somewhat, I think so, very like people are matured, I think so here, not a like a students category, I think so. Everyone, I think so, you are in the employee category, so that there is not much interaction, no issue. But even though my like our target is nothing but to get the content. So you're joined and you are learning, and finally you should think that I have joined here, so the Inspire gave me some content, through that I'm able to carry on my next level of Python. So that should be there. If you're feeling that, we are happy for that. So now we'll wind up the session. Thank you so much. And one more biggest thanks for joining on Sundays also. Yeah. Fine. If you have any doubt, let me know. If no doubt, try to put thank you in WhatsApp group. Try to post the feedback. And here, just put a thank you in the chat and you can leave. And will we have our class until Friday? Yes. Yes, Arvish. Friday will be the final day. Because already 5 days over. Continuously from tomorrow we'll start. So Friday will wind up. So fine. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Sir, are you there?
Hello.
Yeah, sir. Any doubt?
Sir, this dimension, actually, what it refers to exactly? Like in a matrix, we say 3x3 matrix or 3x4 matrix. Actually, in dimension, it is giving some other number, no, sir? Based on the number of brackets.
Yeah, sir. Oh, wait. Based on the bracket is nothing but in the matrix you'll be going with a one like variable a into b into c. So there I can go with a 2 bracket or a 3 bracket when you're going with a matrix. Like mathematical is completely different from this numpy. So there what you learn, it is like a base. Here it's nothing but you're based on the data frames. So you have a data set based on your data set, how many rows are there, how many columns are there. So in the Excel sheet, we are able to filter how many rows and how many columns now, sir. Same thing only. Here, NumPy is nothing but you can, based on the NumPy, you can do many operations. Like I'll tell you some projects. So if time permit, I'll tell you that project. Based on that, you'll understand. There's nothing but startup. So this NumPy dealing with a matrix only, completely matrix. So with list within list. So in the base, in the FOP, I said you about this concept. If you're not in no issue, one square bracket is nothing but list. Within that list, you'll be having another list. So how will you generally represent the two-dimensional? So one separate square bracket, one more separate square bracket, two separate set of square bracket will be there. That is what you'll tell as a row and column is tell as a two-dimension. That is about the general coding. But when you're going to NumPy, you'll be having array within array, list within list, square bracket inside square bracket. That is called as 2D. Inside that, if you have one more square bracket, that is called as a 3D. Like this, how it performs. It is like related to math only, but completely different from that. Why? Because operations are completely different. There you're going with the different brackets, like a set of bracket. Here you'll go with the within that bracket, list within list, I'm telling.
Okay, sir. Understood, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Sir?
Jarvesh.
Yes, sir. Even I have a doubt. It's actually
yeah.
a bug, sir. Can I share my screen?
You have it? Yeah, yes. So the one, just a minute. I'll stop the recording. Yeah, you can share now.